What's going on YouTube? This is Kid here from the Kids Corner, and today I have a quick unboxing and first review and look at the Sigma 50-150 f2.8, the new OS, HSM, APO, EX, all that good stuff in this guy. I picked this up because I wanted a 70-200 equivalent on my DX body, and this is the only one on the market as of right now. So what you get in the package is this nice lens case, soft pouch, and we'll zip this guy open and show you what's inside. Now I have the lens already mounted on the body, but the lens would be in here. But you get a bunch of goodies as well as some nice lush padding on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see that, but foam up here that cradles the lens cover, and then padding all the way down on the sides and the bottom. So that's that. The lens would come in this little plastic bag. You don't need that. Here is a carry strap for the pouch itself. I'm not going to use that because I probably will never use the pouch because I have my DSLR bag. But that is nice to have just in case you do use the pouch. Here's my warranty card, which is already registered with Sigma. Here is the manual in a bunch, or operating instructions manual in a bunch of different languages, but yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory how to use it. And then here is my order information that I'm not gonna show, but anyways, I want to show you guys the lens itself. Now this is mounted up on my D7000. As you can see, this lens is massive. With the lens hood on itself, it's freaking unbelievably large. There's one hand length, and then it's like 1 3/4 hand length from lens to actual tip of the lens hood. Now with the lens hood off, it's a little bit better size, but it's still a really big and heavy lens, but it performs very well, and for what it offers, I absolutely love this guy. I've done probably around 2,000 shots with it, and I do have a few gripes, but I do have tons of positives about this guy. As you can see, it's mounted up on my D7000. Here's a nice front view shot for you. But yeah, so that's that. I want to go over the hood real quick. The hood is plastic, relatively nice. Has some markers on how to attach it to the lens body with the Sigma logo there, as well as some type of dot, I believe. I'm not exactly sure what that's dots for. It might correspond with the lens that's showing you vertical when you have the pedal backwards, because the pedal doesn't sit completely straight when you have it on the lens. So we'll see. Yeah, see that dot's there. I don't know what the dot's for, but anyways, it's a little bit crooked. But here's one of the gripes. If you do have the lens hood on backwards, you can't get to the focus, or not focus, but the well, you can get to your focusing ring slightly, but you can't get to your focal range. You can't get to this guy. So it is what it is. The lens hood does perform very well. It has the ribbing on the inside, which supposedly helps knock down some of the flare and all of that stuff that the lens hood is made for. But right now I haven't really shot with this guy, but I do put it on for storage inside my DSLR bag. But yeah, I just want to go over that real quick. It's plastic, and it does lock on, but it doesn't lock on super securely, so you can hear it click. Alright, sorry about that, guys. What I was saying is the lens hood, it clicks on, so I'll show you that real quick again. But it has some jiggle in it, so you can notice that it wiggles ever so slightly. And I haven't had any issue with it when I did, test it out with the lens hood. I haven't noticed anything that the lens hood would pop off or that this jiggle would get in the way, but it just doesn't seem like it's the way it should have been. It should be a lot tighter for this, quality of lens, but it's the lens hood, does what it does. Pop that off to the side. Now anyways, we'll get to the lens itself. Let me dismount it off the body, and we'll leave the body off here real quick. Now here's the lens. Big chunky piece of glass in the back there, metal mount. necessary, absolutely necessary for this type of lens and the weight. Let me open up the aperture ring for you, and you can see how much light comes out into this guy. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, the lens itself is ridiculously heavy. It probably, I'd say, probably 2 of my D7000 bodies. But for what it is, I like it. I like the way it feels, the heft, everything. Here's the front glass, and there is a little bit of dust in there, but I clean it out every time I go to shoot. I do have a UV filter on there made by Marumi, something like that. It's a Japan-made UV filter. It's supposed to have some of the coating on it for reflections and all of that. But anyways, the dust that is accumulated in there, I don't know if you guys can even see it. It doesn't really make the images any worse, but it is noticeable to me, and I usually clean that out every once in a while, like I said, when I shoot. But I don't shoot every day, so that's why it's every once in a while. But anyways, the zoom ring is absolutely butter smooth. It was a little, ever so slightly gritty when I first picked it up. But now, after using it for a few cycles, it's definitely broke itself in, and it's butter smooth. It doesn't have that far of travel, which is nice, so if you want to get in real quick, I'd say that's probably, what is that, about 65, 70 degrees, something like that, maybe 75, between the entire focal range, as well as the focus ring. It's probably, what is that, just over 100, maybe 100 degrees. So I can kind of fine-tune the focus if I want to. It is manual override and automatic, so that's amazing. So I don't have to keep flicking this switch. What else do I want to say about this lens? The switches are okay. They're just normal, clicky switches. The optical stabilization works absolutely amazing. I've noticed that in number 1, I can really freeze down to about a quarter of a second if I'm real good, but most of the time I can get an eighth of a second, no problem. So this OS is superb. Way better than my Sony A55 in-body stabilization. And I have to say, for this this heavy lens and the focal range, I think it's a little bit better than the Nikon kit lens, the 18-105 that comes with the D7000. If you buy it with the kit lens. I haven't tested out any other of the Nikon VR, so I can't really say much, but I know that this OS works pretty good. HSM, or hypersonic motor focusing system, so it's ever quiet, so basically all you hear is about that. I don't even know if you guys can hear that, but that's what you hear when you're focusing with this guy. It's very, very quiet, so it's not disturbing to anyone. One thing that is a negative, back to the OS, it's clicky. When it sticks, or not sticks in, but when it starts and it stabilizes the image, you hear a click, and then it takes about a second to second and a half or so after you take the shot and you release the shutter button, that the OS clicks off, and you hear a click when it actually shuts off. So it's not a deal breaker. Doesn't really bother me, but it is something to note. So yeah, I don't really perceive that as a con in my opinion, but it is something to talk about. Now, the tripod collar is great. I haven't used it yet, but it's great that I can do this simple little twist, line up the dots, and then pull ever so slightly, and the ring comes off. Super easy to get off. So if you want to dismount this and then just carry around the lens, you can. And then it's super easy to get back on. Just kind of clasp it over, and it clicks right in, as you heard. And then we just line up the lines, tighten her down. Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry, it wasn't in. Thought it was. And now we're in. Okay, so let's get it there. Little twist, bam, done, locked in, and we're good. Now that's off a little bit, but I don't really use the tripod mount. What I do use the mount for is this. When I click it on, I leave the lens sitting on that mount just because of the weight, so that's how it sits on my desk. I know that if you mount this style lens on a tripod from the camera body, you can risk damaging the mount itself on the camera. So I just leave it like that. That's what it's designed for, and it hasn't given me any problems so far. But anyways, just want to give you guys a quick little unboxing, first look, and first review of this guy. I do have some sample images that have probably been thrown up as I did this review, so you guys can see some of the good stuff that I've been talking about. But this is what it looks like in the hand. I can get to the buttons really easily. I can get to my zoom ring up here. I usually use it with my thumb. And then if I want to manually override, I use my middle finger to control the focus. Anyways, we'll turn it on, and I want to let you guys get a little bit of a feel in here for the zoom. So here we go. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but super quiet. And then heard that little click. Here, I'll bring it over to the mic. I don't know if you guys can hear that click, but if you did hear that, that is the OS turning on and off. But yeah, that's the lens. If you do have any questions, please let me know. I will try my best to answer them.